Chapter 855.
Rawr.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Pod-D-Cast, the only One Piece podcast.
The only
That's
one.
it.
That's the only one.
There you go. The only one. That's the one. I'm the best guy ever, as you know, and I am, in fact, superior to everyone, especially you. And I am joined, as always, by Hippocrit.
Yes, bensaint.com. Saint Comics. I draw girls with big poofy hair. That's what I do.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And you have big poofy hair, so you're your own role model.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, chapter 855, Growl.
Well,
roar.
Is
I
it
am
a
woman,
roar?
hear me growl.
I think it's like a stomach growl, like.
I think it's one of those things. Oda is known to do sort of deceptive titles of his chapters, and I think this, I mean, I don't know, because I've only seen the English translation on Manga Stream, but I would imagine that it's a dual automatopoeia of both the stomach growling and perhaps an animal growling, but that's just, like, that's true in English. I have no idea if that's also true in Japanese. I'd be interested to see, though, if it is, in fact, a double
Well, actually, the Japanese
entendre.
for stomach growling is woohoo!
Woohoo!
Woohoo! That's what
takes a lot of letters to spell that.
stomach makes in Japan. You don't get enough sushi. It goes woo!
It's a nightmare of a place to live in. Don't
Yes.
go. Okay, so what happens in One Piece this week?
So, starting right off from the last scene of the last chapter with Bobbin finding Sanji and Sanji running off. Bobbin, we get to see his full title and name and bounty and stuff.
Now, before we go on, so he's called Bobbin the Fixer here. I have seen no less than, like, 3 individual translations of what his fucking title is. And I brought it up on the fucking wiki. So on the wiki, he is called Bobbin the Sweeper, Bobbin the Disposer, and now he's called Bobbin the Fixer.
Well, all
pick
3
one,
of
buddy.
those things.
Pick one, guys.
All 3 of those things
Yeah.
seem to relate to, like, mob, like, you know, fixing is like fixing a horse race, you know, sweeper is like, you know, sweep it under the rug. I think it's something to do with, like, shady underbelly dealings and rubbing people
Yeah.
out. Like, he's a mob guy. He can just, with his
guess
his
so.
bobbly head, he can knock everybody out and then do whatever he wants.
I guess. I wish they would settle on. I'm sure in time we will all settle on the important question of what the fuck Bobbin's title is. And by the way, they pointed out specifically in this thing that he is like a bishop. He is big mob pirate soldier bishop. So does that mean that there's like one of each? Is that going to be like a thing? Because we haven't really seen that with like her other crew members.
I can only assume it's like a chess thing, so he goes diagonal.
Well, he does wobble, die sideways and diagonal a lot. But like,
if you're thinking of him like as the guy who took down a whole kingdom by himself, he seems like a
Which
lone
he is,
ranger.
right.
Like he can handle himself. Bishops, they move real far away from all the other, you know, all the other pieces, and they can take out specific targets. And he's got like a mafia sort of hit name. So I think
that's true.
He's a bit of an assassin.
That's true. I'm not prepared to speculate on the deeper meanings of him being a bishop at the present time. But I was more wondering if like if he's a bishop, right? There's got to be a rook. There's got to be a king. Obviously, the queen is Big Mom, I would assume.
Well, they have all the little chess people as pawns, don't they?
I know they've got a lot of pawns, but it just... okay, the only reason I bring this up is because I had already thought that it was established that, like, there were different ranked homies, and, like, they already made up, like, the chess pieces. But now they're throwing this cog in the works where, like, Bobbin himself is, like, the bishop guy. And
Well,
I'm just like,
I feel like maybe the
okay.
main ones, like all the pawns are just sort of like whatever.
Yeah.
Low-born bitch, you know, homies and stuff. And then the real guys are the main guys at the back, and then Big Mama is the queen.
Yeah, I just want to know where this is going. That's all. It's not a big deal. And by the way, so Bobbin is like back on his feet, like immediately, and starts doing crazy shit here. And I just want to say that I totally called it, that he was not down for the count.
Oh, yeah.
Because remember how I said how weird it was that he got taken out in one hit by Sanji and I didn't buy it? Well, I knew it. He's a strong boy. He's back. He's going to do something weird. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun.
And like all the other people, he knows not to cause a ruckus. He puts all the other guards to sleep, and he's going to take care of this Sanji boy.
Why did he do that anyway? I guess he just wants to take out Sanji
He doesn't want the
himself.
word to get to Mama, because he knows what will happen, probably.
He didn't say that, but okay. I mean, that seems consistent with what we've seen so far. They wanna keep mom asleep or something. Yeah,
Keep mom happy.
They want to do that. So he's got this like hypnosis power. Something.
Yeah.
You think that's a devil fruit? Does that look like a devil fruit to you, or is he just?
I think maybe
wobble?
he's just got a bobbly head.
Hey, I'd like to point out that this wobble back and forth, bobblehead, that's hilarious. This wobble back and forth is a technique that we have sort of seen before. If you recall, ladies and gentlemen.
The Whitebeard guy.
Wait, what white? I was going to mention somebody else. Who's the Whitebeard guy who does this?
The guy who says he's the son of Whitebeard. He does, like, what was he called?
Oh, yeah.
He's
his
like
name
a
was,
rock back and forth sort of...
Edward Weeble.
Yeah, Weeble. That Weeble is like a...
You asserted that he reminded you of a Weeble wobble. I don't think that was actually like confirmed or anything that he actually does that. He does kind of look like one with his body shape.
Oh yeah, maybe that was like a theory I read.
I think it was.
It makes sense.
Yeah, because you were saying something about how like he's like the perfect counter to like earthquakes. Because like even if the whole world's shaking, he'll weeble and wobble, but he won't fall down. He's invincible.
Yeah,
he's the perfect counter to I guess Blackbeard with the earthquake power now. Okay, but that's not what I was gonna say at all. I was gonna say how this power is just like Vivi's. Because when we first met Vivi, when she was known as Miss Wednesday, she had this sexy dance power where she wore these like weird circle patterns on her tits and on her abdomen, and she would do a little funny dance, and people would get hypnotized. Remember that?
I mean that's just like generic hypnotized rocking back and forth sort of thing.
He's rocking back and forth, and it's the exact same shit.
It's the same as Django. I mean, he does the thing with the circle on the string, doesn't he?
Well, his is just a little more stereotypical hypnosis, where he just does the.
Well, that's the same deal.
Okay, they're all the same. What we're trying to say is they're all the same character. Okay, let's move on. Bob sucks anyway.
Yeah. So Sanji's running off, and then we get everyone in the mirror world they've got to the big mirror in Big Mom's room, and this is quite the scene. I like it a lot. I like the comedy elements of it.
I agree, but before we go on, could I just make one point about the establishing shot of this scene? So I had to read this page like 4 times to realize what the fuck was going on, and it's because I think Oda has made a rare error in the framing of a scene where I just could not tell what the fuck was going on. Because like the top panel of like page 5 is like all these characters, like you see them looking in a mirror from like far away, then it's like close-ups on their face, and then the next panel is just Big Mom like in her bed, but there's like no part of the scene shows like them looking out of the mirror at her, and so I was just really confused as to like where we were as the audience and where our characters were. You know what I mean? Like, where are they in this scene? I don't know.
Well, I mean, I didn't have that problem at all. You can see that they got a big mirror, and then there's all the silhouettes of them standing in front of it. So I assume they're looking into that mirror.
I felt, as a reader of this manga, I felt real disoriented on this whole page, because at no point do we see the characters and Big Mom in the same panel. So I was just like, where are we? Like, I feel like I'm weird floating. Like, One Piece is really good at doing, like, at framing their shots to establish, like, the position of characters. This one felt I took note of how disoriented I felt looking at this page, because I don't know where I get that it's weird because like they're looking through a mirror at her, but I just wish there was some angle where it like showed where the mirror was. They were looking out.
I don't think it's that important, because you know that they're in the mirror world and Big Mom would not be in the mirror world, so obviously if they're looking at her, it's through a mirror.
Yeah, it's not a deal breaker or anything. I thought it was weird, and I'd be curious to know if anyone else felt a similar sense of disorientation when reading this page. By the way, though, the scene there of Big Mom being asleep with her buddies around Napoleon. Oh, I love Napoleon so much. She's such a fucking badass. Little hat sleeping by her side with Prometheus and Zeus. Oh, I love these boys. I love them so much. That's great. Okay, but anyway, they see Big Mom asleep. And they found Brook, right? She's sleeping with Brook. Yeah,
they probably asked the mirror, "Where's Brook?" And they said, he's in Big Mom's room." They're like, what?
I love that Brook is also asleep.
Yeah, he's
in
just
her
like,
arms.
yeah, well, what can I do?
He's a chill guy. That's why I like Brook. He's very chill.
Yeah. So they're thinking about how the hell they get Brook out, and then on the next page they start to attempt. Oh no! Well, on the next page we get Big Mom sleep destroying. She sort of sees a fly and she destroys the ground and a lot of smashing and bashing. It's quite hilarious seeing the reactions of the others. Oh, and this is the cool bit. The hat turns into a sword, so I don't know whether the hat is like a sword, like it's like a mechanical sword, or whether it's got a sword fruit or something. I don't know whether homies can have fruits. But it's very cool to see his power.
Oh, I don't think that he ate any kind of sword fruit or anything. I think he's just got a sword somehow. I don't know where that would fit. But this makes it all the more likely that we're gonna get a fight with Napoleon, my favorite character in One Piece. Oh, please let it happen. Oh, yes, I want that to happen so bad. He's literally the best character in One Piece now.
Yeah. Napoleon versus Zoro, and he's gonna kill Zoro once and for all.
Oh, he should be the pirate Sword King. Yeah, Napoleon for life.
The Sword King.
King of all swords. Yes. I want Brook to wield. Zoro to wield him. Oh, he should be Zoro's new sword. Luffy should bring him back.
It's a bit big. That hat is probably as big as Jinbei.
Oh my god, imagine if Zoro wore that hat, like, most of the time, and then, like, he also would just use him as a sword sometimes. Oh my god, it'd be the best thing ever. I'm telling you, this character's got mileage within him. He's going the distance in One Piece. Best deep lore, best character. We'll see.
Yeah. So they're all, like, destroying the fly, saying, fuck you. They blow up the room, and then they go back to sleep peacefully, and it's like, what? How are we gonna stealth do this?
It's this big, like, setup for this comedy scene, like, showing how scary it is to, like, try to get Brook out of there, and so they gotta do shit. To be honest, not my favorite kind of thing. I basically endured these scenes and was like, okay, we're doing a comedy bit.
I don't know, I kind of liked it.
I figured you would. It's not bad, it's just not, what I am particularly into.
Yeah, well,
0 out of 10. Shit anime.
I think I think it's probably because, like, it's entirely comedy. Like, there wasn't any stakes aside from the fact that they could get caught, but they wouldn't, because then.
Well, you know what?
I
felt a little two ways about it. For the one, I was bored. I was like, whatever, just move along. But there was one aspect I liked about it, and it was like we've got the super powered characters here, right? Like, Chopper's super strong. Pedro is super strong, and I like that. So, like, we're in a situation here where, like, it's in that classic scene of, like, the giant holding something and you're, like, trying to, like, get it while they're asleep and sneak around. What I like about the scene is that just a normal giant is old hat for One Piece, right? Like, Dorian Broggy broke that ground about, like, giants being intimidating, like, 1,000 chapters ago. So, like, giants aren't impressive anymore. But, like, the fact that they're sneaking around Big Mom, like, one of the 4 most powerful people in the world, is, like, an actual threat. So this scene actually works for me. It isn't that normal problem that we'd have in One Piece of, like, Luffy sneaking around just like a giant, and he'd be like, oh, I don't want to wake up the giant, it's really scary, but, like, Luffy could easily defeat a giant, it wouldn't be a problem. But in this case, these characters are obviously way weaker, so this premise totally does work, and there is a real threat here. That's cool. And we get a little bit of a teaser as to, like, the powers that Big Mom actively would use in a fight, which we haven't really seen before.
That's what I was going to say. We actually see them use their powers and what they look like. It's probably, the sword is new. And the fire and the electric was pretty obvious, but it's cool to see them doing it. And
indeed,
they're tough, strong, and Brook got scared by a skeleton, which was funny.
He sure did. I mean, the thing about this is we can pretty much just skip to the end and say they tried, they goofed. It was a bunch of shenanigans going on where they all tried to get him, but it didn't work. But then they did, and it was fine.
Yeah.
Like, that's the synopsis.
So the thing that I'm taking away from the fact that they have now got everyone, aside from Sanji and Luffy, is the wedding has to happen as, like, a thing. It can't, like, be like, oh, wait, Sanji's gone, and the rest of them have, like, they've all left. Like, you can't build up to a wedding like that and then not have the wedding happen.
Agreed.
So obviously Sanji is going to stay behind for some reason. Maybe Bobbin will capture him or something, but we got all these guys in the mirror world. They could leave. They could. They're trying to think of a way to.
They could easily escape. Like, they've got access to all of Totland now with Brule captured. So, like, stakes have declined. They can escape, and but yeah, keep going. There's more.
The stakes are now going to be how the hell are they going to save Sanji from the wedding that's going to happen? Because they can't get him, because he's with Luffy at the moment, and Luffy's all tuckered out, as it were.
Well, okay, we'll get to that in a bit. But so once Brook has been saved, in that hilarious scene. So they finally get him, and they're just spitballing about what the fuck happened, and they're like, well, geez, Brook, it was a real shame. You obviously couldn't get those poneglyph rubbings. And then, out of his fucking head, who fucking called it? Who fucking called it? It was me. God damn it! I called that.
I said it was maybe in his head.
I literally don't remember. I thought it was me.
I thought it was like maybe he can't talk because he stuffed it in his skull, and that's why he isn't talking. Even
though that definitely was the case. Oh, by the way, I still feel like it was weird that Brook wasn't talking before, and now that he's been swapped out for this like doll, I feel like there is going to be a thing where like, oh, well, he wasn't very talkative before, so it's not a big deal. But like, it doesn't make any sense why Brook didn't talk before. Nothing has been explained by the fact that they now have a non-talking doll. What is that?
I think it's mostly because what the hell would he say?
Say help. Say fuck. God, no, please let me. Or he could, like Brook would shit talk Big Mom in like in a normal way. He'd just be like, hey,
well, maybe he was scared.
What the fuck's up, dude?
I don't know.
It's just he didn't say anything, so I don't know what the fuck he was thinking. Like he was a little bit worried about like, oh, well, this isn't a good situation to be in. I don't know. Like you agree it was weird that he just didn't say anything like the whole time.
Well, unless it doesn't get,
It's not like Big Mom told him not to speak. If they had just added that one panel of Big Mom saying, like, you're my cute doll, so you're not allowed to talk now, that's all that needed to be there, and it would have been fine. But they didn't do that. So it's just like, what? Why? I don't know. It's not that big a deal. It just seems odd.
Yeah, I guess. I'm just assuming it'll be either explained away later with something like,
maybe.
Well, if I pretended to be dead, maybe then she would not need me anymore, or I don't know. Whatever.
Perhaps.
I can't think very clearly at the moment about it, but yeah.
In any case, we move along, and Brook has the goddamn rubbings.
He has what looks like just 3. The poneglyphs have like a whole cube of size, don't they?
Oh, I'm so glad you mentioned that, because I thought the exact same thing. I was like, Oda, please don't tell me you let me down like this by only fucking have Brook copy like one side. There would be like Robin will be so upset. My wife will be so upset when she doesn't have like all the information. Just you think that's sufficient, Brook? You think one side is sufficient? But I went and I did the research, and sure enough, I looked at every single poneglyph on the wiki, all the pictures of them. Every poneglyph only has writing on one side, and the others are completely blank. So we're in the clear. This is totally consistent. Thank God. I was gonna be mad.
And 2 sides.
Oh shit! I was gonna make a joke. I was gonna say, now there's a cube has 6 sides, so you should be able to write on all 6. Is what you were gonna say, and then I was gonna come back with, Gib, how can you say that the top and bottom are sides? I was going to do like a whole, time cube thing. I was going to do a time.
Time.
It didn't work. It didn't work out.
Very established PCP character, the time cube guy.
The time cube guy. My hero. But anyway, this is totally consistent. Just go check out the wiki if you want. Just Google poneglyph. They all only have writing on one side, so this is A-OK.
So feels good. He managed to do it. He rolled them up, put it in his head. Is quite the feat, and he's like, oh yeah, I guess I just did that.
I will say though, this is a little bit. It feels a little. I mean, I don't really care that much. It does feel a little cheap, because it's just like, oh no, he was in the room, and then things were happening, and then it looked like he didn't have time. Oh, he actually did. All right, I don't even know what I'm saying.
How do you mean cheap? Do you mean like it was led up to? I mean, the whole point was that it was like, oh, he didn't do it. Like it's made us to assume that he probably didn't have time, but it didn't show that he didn't have time.
It doesn't matter. No, I take it back. This is not a problem. This isn't impressive, really. He got them. Okay.
What I think is the most important thing about this whole thing is the fact that Brule and Diesel noticed and picked up on the fact that Brook has stolen the poneglyphs, essentially.
Oh, I really like the emphasis Yeah, go ahead.
Once the Straw Hats, if they escape with Sanji and Luffy or whatever, Big Mom might be pissed, but she won't be super pissed until they tell her the news that they also have the poneglyphs. Like, that will be,
those things were under lock and key.
That would start a war with her, and they will have to be running forever. Like, they will have to kill her before, that she's going to be chasing them down until somebody is the Pirate King.
Dude, the emphasis in this scene on the incredible importance of these, because don't forget, guys, the other Yonko need this information if they want to be the fucking Pirate King. They now have an essential tool that Big Mom had a monopoly on until just now. Brook did something useful! Brook did something useful! Yes! Yes! He fucking did it! But...
Yes.
This is like an economy of the world game changer. This paper that Brook stuffed in his skull with his fucking tone dial that has fucking Bink sake on it and all those memories. I don't know why I brought that up. It just seemed relevant. But this is amazing. It's so great. And Brook did it all by himself, and he's a fucking legend. And this is literally the coolest thing Brook has done in the entire series. By the most important. Certainly, without a doubt. He's finally doing something. Yes.
I hadn't really considered the fact that other Yonko will now be after these, rubbings.
If
just
Kaido or Shanks or Blackbeard want to be Pirate King, they can either invade Big Mom and take over her entire kingdom, or fucking take out one ship with the Straw Hats on it to get that information.
Yeah, so
okay,
so this is going to be like, before it was like the war between the Marines and Whitebeard. Yep. I think now is going to be, like, after this all transpires and then the news gets out that they have the poneglyph information, it's going to be a war of who can kill the Straw Hats first. And Shanks is probably going to turn up to defend them, I think. Perhaps. I think it's going to be a big thing.
I really want, like, when Luffy finally meets Shanks, I want Shanks to just be like, all right, you're a pirate, time to throw down, and just tries to fucking kill Luffy immediately.
I've always liked that idea.
I want them
Shanks
to face
would
off
not
as
be a
equals,
friend.
I want them to be equals on the sea, yeah. Oh, please happen. Oh, so many cool things to look forward to in the future. Oh, it's exciting. It's an exciting time.
If Shanks becomes the Pirate King. He's like, I was just using you, bitch, little boy.
Oh, okay, if Shanks turns out evil, I will be very
not
upset.
Evil, but like he'll be like with a sly chuckle, like, haha, you thought I was your buddy, but I'm the Pirate King now, bitch.
I don't think that would be like so bad, but it would be like the most bizarre choice in like shonen history to have like the old mentor who win and our hero just fucking lose.
Yeah, what's more likely is that Shanks is gonna die before that, but it might be funny if he dies after he becomes the Pirate King and then Luffy immediately takes it again, or something happens.
That'd be lame.
I don't know. I like lots of possibilities are really cool.
One day Shanks and Luffy are gonna fight. There's
definitely.
No doubt about it. It's gonna happen. It's gonna be great. I'm looking forward to it. Oh, it's gonna be epic. He might be final boss. They might defeat Blackbeard together, and then they have to do the epic, face-off 1v1, no crew involvement, captain v captain.
Fox only final destination, no items.
Yeah, dog. That's right. Oh, this is exciting. Okay, but anyway, moving on. Moving
on to the last page where we get the title of the chapter, the big growl, the stomach growl coming from the tree. Sanji has been walking around, seeing all the carnage, and then he sees Luffy. He hears him, he starts sniffling, he's crying, and then he's dead. Luffy's dead. He's a zombie.
He's dead. Died. It's the end of One Piece.
He's like, he was too late. He can't eat. The Pirate King dream is over.
Okay, everybody. Gib, could you remind me how long exactly it's been since Luffy last ate something? What's your ballpark there?
I mean, you've been keeping track of that. I don't really care.
I believe it has been 2 days. All right, I think it's been around. Maybe I'll be generous and say a full 2 days. Luffy looks like he hasn't eaten food in this fucking panel for like literally 3 weeks.
All right.
He looks like he is starving to death.
All right, though, but
what the fuck?
He did go Gear 4, and then do a special super something or other Gear 4 thing.
Yeah,
and then after that, super overexert himself in fighting and ripping his arms off, I think he'd be pretty exhausted after not eating during all that stuff. So I think this is not so unrealistic or unreasonable.
Here's my issue with that. Like, after doing all that fighty stuff, you know, against Biscuit, like, he was eating that whole time, right? So, okay, it was not his favorite food. It's not going to supercharge him like meat would or anything, but, you know, he had plenty of calories in him. He literally said he had eaten more than he ever had in his entire life. It was paining him.
He burned through all of that and became normal again. Who's to say
you know what?
he wasn't still burning through it?
I'll accept that. That's totally fine. But, like, he was really, like, fine. He was fine, like, after that fight. He went and had this whole adventure in the castle. At no point was food an issue at all until, like, a few hours ago did Luffy, like, start to get hungry. That's the first time it was ever brought up. Luffy has, on the record, I believe, they have gone weeks without food. Like, when they've been sailing on sea, I believe, I tried to look it up. I couldn't find anything. But come on, people, you remember, there have been times when they have just had to go days or weeks without food. And this never happened.
I still think the overexertion thing, because there have been points in the manga where people are saying, like, you know, doing all this gear third, gear second bullshit. Luffy's, like, ruining his life. He's diminishing his lifespan. But
that's not what this is. I'll give you the exertion
What I mean
thing.
is the physical damage done to his body. Like, it hasn't had time to heal, even though he burned through all those calories, like after the fight with the cracker guy.
Well, you know, that's the one upside. He has not had a chance to heal, like, after any of this fighting up to this point, including when he, like, tried to rip his fucking arms off, and the tooth that's missing, and, you know,
I think
I get it.
After he was captured, after he realized that, like, what's her face? I forgot her name already. The fucking evil girl.
I don't know who you're talking. Reiju? Oh, Pudding.
Pudding, yeah. Pudding. Yeah. Once he realized she was evil, he needed to go see Sanji.
Right.
He was, like, completely unprepared, but he was pushing his body past its limits. I think that's what he does. Is like he goes beyond his body's limits, and it can ruin himself. So, like, as soon as he realized Sanji was, you know, he knew the truth, he just ran. He just ran as fast as he could, because he knew he couldn't go on fighting for much longer. And he had to, like, sleep.
Do you really think the things that... Oh, remember that time he climbed like, the big mountain on Drum Island, right? Like, that took him a full, like, day to climb. And he was like, that seemed way harder than the shit that he's done. Like, yes, he's been hurt more. It's just look at his face. He looks like he's been starving for weeks. Does he not look like he's been starving? It's just, this is just, he's milking it. You know, this is my accusation. This is my issue. I think Oda's really milking this. I think he's going a little bit far. It's stretching my credibility, my credulity a little bit. I just think, like, why couldn't we have gone for a week? You know, a week would be fine. It's been, like, at most 2 days. Come on, we've seen Luffy do this before. It's happened on the seas.
I don't think it's that bad.
Well, okay. I'm exaggerating my mild annoyance, because, like, this is, like, supposed to be a big emotional moment. Like, look at Sanji. He's, like, weeping. Like, we as the audience are supposed to be really emotionally connecting with this scene. And for me, it's just like, okay, all right, I get what you're doing, but it's a bit rocky. It's a bit rocky. That's all I'm saying. But I know you disagree. But hey, that's why we have a 2-person show and not a 1-person show, so we can talk about it and disagree. And
yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, but I'm right though.
No, you're not.
I'm always right.
Vote in the comments. Press 1 if you think Nate's gay.
Hey, let's do a straw poll. Cause no, I don't know. Maybe that's too much work. If I remember or feel like doing it,
require us looking at it. I don't want to do that.
Oh god, that's too much work. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I just won't. Yeah, leave a fucking comment. You know, leave a fucking comment. Say if you think this is legit or not. If you remember this shit. Anyway, next chapter there's gonna be a scene probably where Luffy's gonna eat Sanji's meat at long last and is gonna be restored to full power like the hero that he is. And it's gonna be it's gonna be great. It's gonna be cool. But you know, also I'm complaining in advance. That's not a lot of food in that basket. Luffy has been known to eat as many breads in his life as there are stars in the sky. So, you know, maybe he needs some more. Get that man some more meat. I'm not gonna buy it if he's fully healed after this little snack. But okay. That's enough complaining. I'll complain when we get there. Maybe something else will happen.
I think if he goes that route, like it would make this, be the setup for a punchline, and therefore it would be perfectly fine that he's milking it here. If it's like, oh yeah, just need a little chicken leg, and then suddenly, woo!
If it's a joke, sure. Like you can do whatever you want for a joke. Like if Luffy is just pretending to be this hungry or something, hey, that'd be totally fine. I guess we'll just wait and see.
Yeah. Like it's obviously played straight here, but then it'll be funny later. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a comedy scene.
I'll bet you that it's not.
I don't want to make any more bets.
Legit.
I forgot
what was
the
my
other
bet before? I can't remember.
It was
Someone
something to do with
we
can rewatch the episode.
I don't remember which one it was, and there's no way I'm watching all the episodes to find that.
It was two back, so 853. I think.
Okay, cool. I'll look it up maybe. But whatever I said, I'm sure I was right, and I'll win that one too. Okay. Any closing thoughts? I think it's time to wrap it up. This is the last thing, and I hate myself.
All right. That's on that note.
On that positive note, thanks everybody for listening. This is a podcast. Best Guy Ever. That's Hippocrit, and we will see you next week because apparently there will be a chapter. Goodbye.
All right.
And Godspeed.